我是阿婉，今天是2025年10月27日。那就是说，现在亚洲各国都在寻求平衡，就是处于中美战场的这种夹缝中。上周日就是美国的空军1号在马来西亚降落，那特朗普为期1周的亚洲之行也由此展开。然后之后的话，就是他会与中国的最高领导人习近平会晤，然后并访问一个因中美竞争而经历深刻重塑的地区。那在现在这种新型的超级大国竞争下，特朗普和习近平就世界的一个秩序问题，提出了截然不同的愿景。像会影响到韩国的芯片工厂、越南的生产线、南海的争议水域，还有台湾的自治岛屿的地位。那跟冷战不同的是，争夺权力和影响的战场，就是不仅聚焦于军队和舰艇，还包括了供应链、港口、数据中心。那亚洲各国政府就是面临着选边站队的压力。泰国、新加坡、印度尼西亚等夹在中间的国家，必须就是权衡如何从中获益，而不被竞争所挟持。新加坡的国立大学教授庄家顿说，那就是该地区的国家不希望被视为说只是美国和中国和他们头上谈判，就是随意拨弄的旗帜。小国当然也希望就是会拥有自主权，然后也愿意说跟华盛顿和北京来争相拉拢，然后在两大强权之中取得平衡。但是就是在过往，就这种可能还是比较容易实现。因为那时候的美国与亚洲的互动更为积极，然后与美国总统的到访也会被视为是一种保证，表明在日益强硬的中国面前，华盛顿会支持该地区的盟友。然而，就是当特朗普上周日抵达的时候，美国对其盟友和伙伴的承诺仍然是一个悬而未决的问题。那关税引发的不满，美金部署前景的不确定性，那盟友也是备受压力。通过向周边国家就是提供贸易协议和投资机会，那北京是利用了这种不确定性，然后同时也更广泛的宣示其作为唯一有意愿、有能力抗衡特朗普总统的一个超级大国。那不过就是中国也警告了周边国家，如果与华盛顿联手限制对华贸易，那将面临严重后果。所以说就是中国的一个商务部今年就是曾用成语暗示，就是说与虎谋皮，就是如果你试图讨好特朗普政府，他是既危险又徒劳。那特朗普与习近平就是会在之后在韩国举行的一个亚太经合组织峰会上会晤。那各国的一个亚洲各国政府，就是欧日韩等美国盟友韩国、日国等美国的盟友，就是我觉得大家可能会有一些被晾在一边的感受。不是我觉得，是这篇文章，虽然我也是这么觉得。那两国元首的会谈其实会左右全球经济的一个天平，那对话也可能引发或者说避免又一场的全面的贸易战。特朗普当下是希望习近平取消对稀土的一个出口管制，恢复对美国大豆的采购，并加大力度管控用于制造高度成瘾性的阿片类的药物，就是芬太尼的中国化工原料。那专家指出说，最重要的是特朗普是需要营造出与习近平达成协议的观感，然后借此强化其强人的形象。那中国领导则希望说，特朗普取消对华关税，放宽对半导体等美国技术对华出口的一个限制， 然后放松对中国在美投资的限制。如果特朗普能愿意就是减少对台支持的信号，那对习近平来说那就是锦上添花。习近平可能就是当下就是会带有一种中国占据上风的一个心态进行这场会谈。就是一个是中国对几乎所有科技产品都必须的一个稀土元素实施了新的出口管制，然后这就是为他提供了强有力的一个谈判杠杆，而美国需要找到合适的一个替代供应，仍需要数十年的时间。然后其次的话，就是特朗普，这毕竟还是一个民选的政府，就是他国内的情况，其实应该就是美国国内的情况也相当棘手。之前特朗普就是要派兵，到那个华盛顿州还是哪一个州，然后他说好几位友人打电话，就是包括英伟达的就是英伟达的那个 CEO 也打电话告诉特朗普别这么做。那其次的话，就是美国的一个政府，因为两党一个投票什么的原因，然后他们的政府就是也属于一个停摆的状态，然后看到公务员都要去食物银行去领取就是捐献的食物。那这些出口限制，话说回来，就是出口的限制，就是削弱了北京在国际舞台拉拢他国的承诺，然后包括此前承诺要减排方面采取更多行动，升级与东南亚国家的一个贸易协定。欧亚集团的一个中国事务负责人、前美国驻华副团长米维德说，就是说他们捍卫自己是多边主义，声称自己不霸权、不胁迫他国，但我认为他们完全没有意识到这对世界造成了怎样的影响。就是他谈到稀土管制措施的时候是这么说。那当特朗普，其实我觉得在这个点的话，确实是因为中国失去了生意，那生意它到底是生意，还是需要有人接手？中国减掉的生意，那可能就是比如说东南亚其他国家呀、墨西哥啊或者怎样的，他们就会得到了订单。那有没有生产能力？生产能力什么时候上来，那自然是另外一回事。所以说，这也是涉及到一个时机的问题，就是如果北京没有把握住机会，那你流失的订单可能就是会流失。所以说，当特朗普抵达东南亚的时候，美国的声誉也是面临审视，各国仍在努力应对他那一系列广泛关税带来的冲击。这些关税严重打击了依赖出口的经济体。与此同时，外界对美国的不信任也因为特朗普政府突然削弱对外援助，以及华盛顿对以色列在加沙行动的支持而进一步加深。在以穆斯林人口为主的马来西亚，特朗普是极不受欢迎，以至于首相安瓦尔·伊卜拉欣不得不澄清说，此次邀请这位美国总统来访是基于东盟轮值主席国的身份，而非改善两国关系的主动示好。那这种疑虑也是因中美日益加剧的摩擦及其对长期不愿选边站地区的潜在影响而加深。布鲁金斯学会的一个东南亚问题专家林恩郭表示说，鉴于美国政策的不确定性，许多东南亚国家正试图加深与海湾国家与欧洲国家的联系。不过呢，就是也考虑到就是中国的地理邻近以及持续的区域参与，东南亚各国就是可能还是会出于战略考量或者现实进一步而向中国倾斜。北京通过与该地区建立的双边及多边经济战略与外交关系占据了有利地位，足以从华盛顿留下的任何权力真空中获得最大利益。即便是特朗普应该是会在明日就是前往日本，那中国也同样是一个重要的议题。那特朗普的此次日本行会会见日本的一个首位就是刚当选的新上任的首位女首相， 就是高市早苗。那高市早苗在对待特朗普政府的问题上，他采取的是更强硬的立场，但是他最近的就是语气也趋于温和，就是承诺将努力维护前任于7月签署的一个贸易协议。那高市早苗预计就是会跟特朗普建立良好关系作为优先事项，借助他们对前首相安倍晋三的共同敬仰来拉近距离。那安倍首相是于2022年就是在街头遇刺身亡，那安倍也是高市早苗在政治上的一个导师。那不过的话，就是说高市早苗可能会在会谈中提出中国对亚洲日益增长的军事经济影响力所引发的担忧，韩国也是同样的忧虑。所以说这两个美国传统盟友就是陷入了两难的境地，一个方面就是要依赖美国的安全保障，另一方面又离不开对华的贸易往来。像韩国的话，现在就是应特朗普的要求，然后对美国就是在美各种投资啊，然后其次就是他寻求的就是说，美军驻扎在韩国的基地这样子。那特朗普就怎么说呢？特朗普作为一个传统的盟友，就是说你让美军驻扎在那个基地的话，就是相当于说是保卫韩国，但同时的话，韩国是需要付很大一笔钱的。那与此同时呢，特朗普就是有点趁人之危，就是他跟韩国提出来，那片驻扎的基地要归美军，就是要归美国所有，他想买下来。所以我觉得说特朗普他是很大胆的开口了，但是呢，韩国哪怕说韩国的总统要答应，可是民众的口水会淹死他的吧？所以说，而且韩国那不只是民众的口水，就是民众就是他们就是也是很一直就是会上街去抗议，就是去抗议他们的总统，抗议他们的就是一些社会现象或者社会怎么样的话。所以说8月就是访问华盛顿的期间，就是韩国总统李在明也承认，就是说他觉得说维持这种平衡是越来越困难了。好的，那现在就是大家跟我一起来读一下英文的原文。Asian caught in the middle face Trump and Xi's tug of war. When Air Force One lands on Sunday in Malaysia, President Trump will begin a tour that will bring him face to face with China's top leader Xi Jinping, as well as a region that has been increasingly reshaped by the competition between Beijing and Washington. In this new kind of superpower rivalry, he and Mr. Xi are offering contrasting versions for how the world should be ordered, with consequence for cheap batteries in South Korea, battery floods in Vietnam, the contested waters of the South China Sea, and the status of the self-governed island of Taiwan. Unlike the Cold War, the battlegrounds for power and influence are centered not only the troops and warships, but also on supply chains, ports, and data centers. Governments across Asia are increasingly beginning pressure to pick sides. Countries caught in the middle, like Thailand, Singapore, and Indonesia, must wait how to benefit from the competition without being held hostages to it. Countries in the region don't want to be seen as just pawns that the US and PRC can pass over as the two cut deals above their heads, said Jia Yinqun, a professor of political science at the National University of Singapore, using the abbreviation for the People's Republic of China. They want agents would much rather than have Washington and Beijing hone them so that they can play both powers off one another, he added. That might have been easier in the past when the United States were more engaged with Asia. When the American president visited, it would often be a way to reassure the United States friends in the region that Washington had their backs when it came to an increasingly assertive China. But as Mr. Trump arrives on Sunday, Americans' commitments to its alliance and partners remain an open question, strained by resentment over tariffs and uncertainty over the future of U.S. troop deployments. Beijing has sought to take advantage of that uncertainty by offering trade deals and investments to its neighbors while staking a wider claim to the region as the only superpower willing and able to confront the Trump administration. It has warned that the region or the consequence of joining Washington in restricting trade with China, to seek one's own temporary selfish interests at the expense of others' interests, is to ask a tiger for its skin, the comments -3 in Beijing said this year, using an idiomatic expression to imply that trying to appear that the Trump administration was both dangerous and futile. It will be difficult for Asian governments, even U.S. allies like South Korea and Japan, not to feel like a bystander when Mr. Trump and Mr. Xi meet next week on the sidelines of the Asian Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in South Korea. The global economy hangs in the balance as the two leaders hold talks that could either prompt or prevent another full-blown trade war. Mr. Trump wants Mr. Xi to roll back China's new export controls on rare earths, restarted purchase of U.S. soybeans, and do more to crack down on Chinese-made chemical used to make the highly addictive opioid fentanyl. Most important, as per se, he wants to come away looking like he scored a deal with Mr. Xi, bolstering his image as a strong man. On the other side is Mr. Xi, who wants Mr. Trump to draw his tariffs on Chinese goods, ease access to U.S. technology like the semiconductors, and loosen restrictions on Chinese investments in the United States. Analysts said the icing on the cake for Mr. Xi would be if Mr. Trump signaled he was open to reducing Washington's support for Taiwan. Mr. Xi is likely going into talks feeling that China has the stronger hand. New experts rules on rare earths, which are needed for virtually every modern-day technology, have given him powerful leverage. America is still years away from finding suitable alternatives, but the experts' control also threatened to undermine Beijing's bid to court other countries, which has included pledging to do more to reduce emissions and promise to upgrade a free trade agreement with Southeast Korean nations. They defend multilateralism. They say they are not a hegemon, that they are not a bully, said David Mill, the head of Eurasia Group's China practice and former U.S. Deputy Chief of Mission in Beijing. I don't think they quite understand what they did to the world, he said, referring the rare earth rules. When Mr. Trump arrives in Southeast Asia, however, it will also be Americans' reputation that will be scrutinized. Countries are still reeling from his sweeping tariffs, which hit their export-dependent economies hard. Skepticism of the United States has also grown over the Trump administration's sudden withdrawal of foreign aid and over Washington's support for Israel's assault on Gaza. Mr. Trump is so unpopular in Malaysia, a predominantly Muslim nation. The Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim even felt compelled to clarify that the invitation to the American president was made on behalf of the 10-member Association of Southeast Asian Nations and not a bilateral overture. The skepticism is compounded by unease over the growing field between the United States and China and what it could mean for a region that has long shied away from choosing sides. 另国 Southeast Asian expert at the Brookings Institution said that with the uncertainty surrounding the United States, many Southeast Asian countries were trying to deepen ties with Gulf nations and Europe. That said, given China's proximity and substance engagement, the region could tilt further toward China by design or necessity. She said Beijing's long-standing economic strategy and diplomatic engagement with the region, both bilaterally and multilaterally, positions it to get the most from any vacuum left by Washington. China will no doubt be a major topic when Mr. Trump goes to Japan, where he will meet the Senate Takachi, who this past week was elected as the country's prime minister, the first woman to serve in that role. Ms. Takachi suggested during her leadership bid that she could take a target approach in dealing with the Trump administration, but she has recently struck a moderate tone, pledging to work to preserve a trade agreement signed by her predecessor in July. Ms. Takachi is expected to make building a rapport with Mr. Trump a priority, tapping into their shared admiration for Shinzo Abe, the former prime minister who was assassinated in 2022 and who was a mentor to Ms. Takachi. She is also likely to raise the concerns about China's growing military and economic power in Asia. Similar concerns are being felt in South Korea, a staunch ally of the United States that now finds itself increasingly caught between its dependence on America's security and its reliance on trade with China. South Korea hope that a meeting between Mr. Trump and Mr. Xi, which is expected on Thursday, will help ease their tensions so South Korea can have more breathing room. During a visit to Washington in August, President Lee Jae-myung acknowledged that it was getting harder to strike a balance given the intensifying competition between the two giants, saying it's no longer possible to maintain that kind of logic. Thanks for listening. Hoping your life fully with happiness and joys, and granting your day.